Hey everybody, welcome to the Cosmic Panel. It is February 1st, and Dark Web is finally over.
Thank
That's right.
God.
That's right, folks. One of the not so great Marvel events of the year is finally coming to a close, so we can spend more time enjoying Sins of Sinister.
Yes, thank God. The character assassination of Ben Reilly will soon be over, and hopefully we can get our loving boy back. Hopefully with another mini series written by that wonderful duo that did the series last year. That would be awesome. Give them Ben Reilly. Let them have Ben Reilly, please. You guys have had too much. You've ruined my boy.
Too much Ben Reilly for them, taking their privileges away.
Yeah, revoking your Ben Reilly privileges. Yoink.
Today we have a lot of fun number ones to talk about. A DC special. And so let's launch right into it. Lucas, what's your first pick?
So my first pick is Children of the Black Sun #2. It's a fairly new series. It is creepy. Like Invasion of the Body Snatchers creepy. Like, it's weird. So basically, as the basic plot as we understand, every couple of years, at least so far it's happened 2 times, the sun comes up, and instead of it being normal sun, it's literally a black sun. It causes people to commit suicide, commit murder, fornicate, etc., etc. And these children are born not during it, but because of the sun, the effects of the black sun. And basically they are born with red eyes and white ghoulish skins, and they look like they're wearing like skin suits. Like, they look really, really lanky and weird, and it's terrifying.
Interesting.
And apparently genetically they're the same, they're fine. And then last chapter we got to meet 2 of them, 2 of the new generation, and then 2 of the older ones, because it happened twice. It happened once 16 years ago, and then it happened once 12 years ago.
Okay.
So there's a in between, but apparently the new kids are learning their nature from the older ones, and it's just creepy.
Cool. What company is publishing?
This is actually a Blaze, which is a fairly smaller company. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But it's from the artist that did the House of Slaughter series.
Okay. Cool.
So a pretty well accomplished artist, I would say.
Sweet. Very good. So for my first pick this week, I have Venom number 16. This is, I guess, the last Dark Web tie-in that we're going to get, featuring Bedlam. The goofiest part of Dark Web for me is the covers all having that same webbing background, and then just copy-pasting the thing on top.
It's so annoying. Like, why?
It was a concept that I can respect as, like, a good way to tie together all the tie-ins. But I think they could have executed it maybe as a border, maybe, or something to give the artist a little more free reign.
Yeah.
Because for the Venom covers, it was just like this artist art just thrown on top of some webbing, and it was really
someone's punched, and then the webbing's there. It's just like,
yeah,
so annoying.
Now, for me personally, I've not been loving this Venom arc. I don't really love the Bedlam story that we're getting right now. And also, we're just throwing in more and more characters. I do like the inclusion of Normie. That's fun. But why is Kamala involved now?
Okay, I'll agree with Kamala. I'm pretty sure that's Dark Web mandated more than anything, because Kamala has Miss Marvel has a Dark Web tie-in. They have to make a tie-in.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that's just mandated. But
okay,
I've been really liking it. I like the idea that Bedlam. The reason why Eddie becomes Bedlam is because, 1, he gets reverted, and 2, it just breaks him psychologically. Like, he's just so confused, and he just basically factory resets, and he becomes Bedlam. Right. I also love the reveal that Dylan is part symbiote, and every time he melds with the symbiote, he makes the symbiote not only stronger, but also more independent from the Hive.
Yeah. No, the Dylan stuff is great. I just don't love the way that they're explaining Bedlam.
Yeah, it's because of the event.
Like, yeah, like I
I
mean,
get where you're
if
coming from.
Al has thought that far ahead, like he knows what event or what comic is going to spur each transformation for the King in Black, that's amazing. But this one is just a little more lackluster for me. Like,
Yeah.
for me, I feel like Venom is prone to anger in a way that, it's just normal to that character. That I feel like this is going to be the most boring King in Black, and the next ones I think I'll enjoy more. That's all.
Yeah, like the chill, mellow one.
Yeah, like stuff like that. I think I'll appreciate that more. Sync just like bullying the fuck out of Venom, and
That
then
was
him,
funny.
and then him crying and transforming into Venom was just a little for me. But that's just me. But I am
think-
excited to read this and continue to unfold the Venom universe because I love it. But I definitely am very much invested in Dylan right now more than anything else.
Oh yeah, easily. It's funny how it's become an inverse of the beginning, where you were more invested in Eddie, and then
Yeah.
eventually became invested in Dylan, like over
Yeah.
time. And now it's just like you're completely invested in Dylan, and now you're like, okay, Eddie, move on to the next stage.
Yeah, exactly.
But Dylan's stuff is so interesting. Like I
Yeah.
love the idea that he can now like separate, like the sword,
Yeah.
making the sword which separates symbiotes from the hive is just fucking insane. Like what?
That's really cool.
And he just pulls it out of his chest.
Yeah.
Like it's so badass. And
Yeah.
I also like how much Codex looks like a different version of Null with the long hair.
Mhm.
Like the white long hair and like the red. Like it just looks like a different version of Null.
Definitely. And I'm excited to see where Normie takes us because I know there's a Red Goblin limited series coming soon.
Yeah, I thought
So
that
that'll
was
be
going to be just about Norman, but yeah, no, apparently it's about Normie, which I think is interesting.
I like his look with the white. It's cool.
I'm not a huge fan of the white, to be completely honest. I think it looks a little bit. I think it's too much white, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I think I would like the white if it was more sparse. I feel like there's not enough red, if anything. But that's just me personally.
Word.
Next up, next up for me is Minor Threats number 4. I had a long delay.
Yeah, I haven't heard about this in a minute.
Yeah, last issue we had was all the way in November.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is the final issue.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
it?
so
4
it's
issues?
like wow, this final issue took forever.
Well, at least I can put it on my list then because I thought it was ongoing.
No, that's it.
Yeah, I'll
it's
I want to check that out.
yeah, no, it's sick. So basically, if you haven't been following along, it's basically a spoof on the Jason Todd story, basically, where instead of Batman being like Joker, I won't kill you, etc., basically Batman's like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you all. And all the other criminals are now suffering because of it, because Batman's just going all out. The Justice League is going all out. And so the minor villains, the minor threats, as the title says, basically decide, we're going to kill the fucking Joker, in this case, Stickman, that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
And so they try to kill him. And last issue, we've learned that one of our characters betrayed everyone else. So it's time to find out who betrayed who and what's going to happen. Because I'm invested in all these characters. They're all very interesting, all very fun. And while it's been short and while it's been a minute, I'm kind of sad to see it go.
Yeah, definitely want to check this out. It's Patton Oswalt, right?
Yeah, it's honestly a surprisingly good book.
Nice. Yeah, very cool. So next up for me, my first number 1 of the week is Silver Surfer Ghostlight. Now, I don't recognize this creative team. Lukas and I were discussing, what we want in a Silver Surfer book, what we look for, and that's, primarily a great artist.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see, what the art is like, and the story is seemingly just introducing this new character, Ghostlight. So yeah, I'm very, very curious to see what the concept of this book is. But I'm always excited to see Silver Surfer on a cover. So yeah.
So apparently the artist previously did the series Bitch Planet.
Okay, I have heard that name, but I've never read that.
But yeah, so apparently that's the main series that they are known for. But
Word.
it's interesting to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see this new character. Hopefully, it's not just let's just introduce a new character and that's it, and then
Yeah.
Silver Surfer's just a side piece.
It's an interesting, because I feel like usually you would see like a bigger character like Spider-Man or someone introducing a new character, if that's the main point of the book, to introduce a new person.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see Silver Surfer. And if it is Surfer, then he must be involved cosmically somehow. He must be
100%.
But I want to see what similarities they hold that really makes them tie together.
Yeah, and apparently the writer is called John Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he's an Eisner-winning artist. He wrote a Transformers Beast Wars book. He wrote Bitterroot. That I never heard that one, but apparently it's an Image comic. So
Cool.
he isn't a new artist, but he's still fairly new, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, he doesn't have much under his resume, but he has enough.
Cool.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens, to say the least.
Sweet. What's next up for you?
Next up for me is Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty. We're getting a new version of the Invaders, guys.
Very excited to see that on the cover. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this series has been sick, man. It's gotten so high concept in the last couple issues, and it's just become basically just a better version of a political spy thriller. Like, everything I could have wanted from a Captain America book. Like, there's now a new version of MODOK, which instead of being with a K, it's mental organism designed for control.
Okay.
So instead of it being like killing, it just controls and it manipulates memories, and it has enough ability to fight off Emma Frost.
Wow.
Yeah, Emma Frost last issue was trying to get rid of it, and she couldn't.
Huh.
To the point where she was scared, and she was like, "I need to leave."
Damn.
And it made them forget an entire week,
Wow.
which is a huge concern for them, because they're like, "Where were we for that week? We were making a plan, and then all of a sudden I blinked, and I was in a cornfield a week later."
Wow.
Also, New York currently is on. Man, if I had a nickel for every time New York was inside a bubble domed, I would have 2 nickels.
Seriously.
But it's strange that it happened twice. Yeah, AIM has bubbled New York for like the second time. Remember when the Dark Force bubbled New York?
Dark Force bubble. Fucking.
This one is just a technology bubble, but it's like, so that's where they're invading New York.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool because it's basically the outer circle is the reason. I don't know. Have I explained the outer circle to you, or at least on this channel?
Mm-mm.
So the outer circle is literally the power, the money, the machine, the love, and the revolution.
Okay.
So the machine is Wakandan. This Wakandan basically person that was disbarred from Wakanda, but brought over the machines. The money is obviously the richest person. The power is this political person. The love is this person that's in charge of fashion and drugs and etc. And the revolution is supposed to be the one that keeps them all in check.
Okay.
Recently, Bucky got turned into the revolution. Or not turned into, but he got indicted. He killed the old revolution and basically became the new revolution. So now he is basically trying to put his trust in Steve and trying to take the organization out from the inside. We learned that Bucky's parents died because of the outer circle. They placed him as Bucky Barnes. Like, they literally said, like, didn't you ever wonder why a 16-year-old was working with Captain America of all people? We were grooming you to be the new Captain America. Like, they literally were, like, organizing his life to be that. So it's very interesting, and that's why he wants to fucking kill them. He's like, you killed my parents, you literally caused me all this harm. I became the Winter Soldier because you put me with Cap.
Right.
And so it's a very interesting take, and I think it's very interesting because now they're now having their little battle. They're like, oh, I'll move this piece for New York, and they literally said, like, I move AIM to New York, and Bucky said, I moved the Invaders to New York. And it was literally them moving the pieces, and then, like, literally that's what happened. The Invaders all of a sudden set up in New York. AIM suddenly set up in New York. Like, so it's literally just a game to them, which is wild.
Cool. Very nice. Next up for me, I have Avengers 65. I'm
You were right.
excited for this group. Oh, yes, I was right. That's right. Avenger Prime is a Loki. I was very confident in that. I don't know if that was a very popular guess among readers of the book. but I'm happy that I that I was right. This is a Loki because you can't have the Avengers without Loki.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious to see what his backstory is, where he came from, how he came to be Avenger Prime. Yeah, so I think that this is basically going to be a backstory on him because the Avengers Forever cover has the Doom Planet, on the cover. So I think that's, even though that happened at the end of the issue, I think that's going to be a later problem.
Yeah.
And this is just going to be a good background on Avenger Prime. But yeah, chugging along on Avengers Assemble.
I also like that he's a Sorcerer Supreme too. Like that's cool.
He's almost like a very casual but very powerful character. And I also liked his costume reveal at the end of the issue. That was cool too.
It was cool.
But yeah, Avengers Assemble chugging along.
Dragging out a little bit, but
we're
getting there.
But enjoying the good moments.
Yeah.
I just love seeing Aaron Kuder draw Avengers. So the last Forever issue was awesome.
Oh, the last Forever issue was cool. Just seeing all of them work together finally.
Yeah. So yeah, 65. And,
also, wait. Can we talk about how the tiny Steve was like? They were like, how the tiny Steve picked up Thor's hammer, and the other Steve was like, "Where'd you get that?" And he was like, "Oh, I just found it on the floor. It was calling to me." And it was like, "Oh my god."
That's great. Which I would think that most of them could just walk over and pick up a hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was awesome too. When when one of Thor's daughters just used all of the hammers.
Yeah,
that
just had them all
sick.
leading. Who do you think is your favorite multiversal character that they've brought into the story? Not 616, so not Robbie or any of them, but like I think for me it's the Thor that punches his hammer. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, that Thor is awesome. I really enjoy him. Obviously, I really like the Tony Stark Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's just been a really cool character. I'm wondering where Infinity Thing is.
Yeah, where the fuck is he? He would be really useful right now, wouldn't he?
Maybe that's why he's not there. But hopefully he'll have like a big entrance.
Must not clobber. Peace. Yeah. Just fades out of existence. The clobbering must not begin.
Yeah. Hopefully he pops up at some point, but
to clobber or not to clobber, that is the question.
Infinity Thing is awesome.
Yeah, no, I love his dialogue. It's so goofy.
But the Moon Knight from that universe is also very cool.
Yeah, she's cool.
But yeah, what's next for you?
Next is Flash 1 Minute War special. We've been getting this 1 Minute War, which is almost like a tiny event. Jeremy Adams has been killing it, doing an amazing job at tying in all the Flash, whether it be Barry, Wally, Jay Garrick, Impulse, Wallace, aka the Kid Flash, Wally, into the story. And this 1 Minute War is so interesting because it's basically about these aliens that use the Speed Force as like an engine, as like a battery, and they go world to world, and they conquer the world so fast that literally no one can defend against them.
Oh wow!
So like they'll take over the world in less than a minute. Whole point of 1 Minute War. They'll drop off bombs. Their ships like move just at the same speed as like speedsters.
Wow! And
they'll drop off bombs. They'll do like a bunch of stuff, and then they'll just kill whoever's there and just take the resources and leave and go to the next planet. So they land on Earth. They cause a bunch of accidents. Iris apparently is dead. I highly doubt it, to be honest. But the only people that are currently able to move at all are speedsters. So anyone that isn't a speedster is not realizing what's happening. Is just moving too fast. Somehow the speedsters are also still able to use their super speeds, which is like, what? But okay. But whatever. It's a cool concept, and I like the there's this one piece of dialogue where like the aliens are like, we've detected a biological natural host to the Speed Force. And he's like, oh, there's always like one or two on this planet. And the guy goes, there's six.
Hmm.
And the guy just looks at it as like, what the fuck?
That's cool.
It's so funny. He's like, yeah, this planet has a lot of Speed Force users.
Nice.
And they're all after you now. But yeah, I love the idea that this entire war, this entire like situation where multiple people are dying and shit is just happening in this 1 minute. But for speedsters, it feels like weeks because it's just dragging out. But yeah, no, it's sick. We get to see the entire Flash family. We got to see Max Mercury. We got to see Jesse Quick.
I was gonna ask if he was back.
Yeah, he's back. Max Mercury, Jesse Quick, Jay Garrick, like all of them are back. It's so fun. It's so exciting, and this is, man, Jeremy Adams, man, it just writes a fucking fun Flash book.
Excellent, very cool. Next up for me is Moon Knight number 20. My favorite, most consistent book.
100%.
Never gonna let me down. This is a bigger issue because apparently it has a Blade guest star story, which I had hoped to see him at some point because Moon Knight's been dealing with vampires.
Yeah.
So hopefully he has something to say about that. Oh, and also a revelation from
Hunter's Moon.
Hunter's Moon was that Khonshu is unable to revive his fists if one of them is to die again.
Yeah, because he's stuck in the Aesir prison. The Asgard,
Yeah.
for anyone who doesn't understand.
So that'll be very interesting to see how they deal with that. This book has been amazing at being, consistently fun, consistently enjoyable, but also dropping, occasional bombshells and keeping you on the edge of your seat.
It has done an amazing job of turning Age of Khonshu, an event that I wasn't a huge fan of, into a hugely important bit of Moon Knight lore, to the point where like you kind of have to now read it to understand what's happening in this book, because it's like, why is Khonshu not there? And it's like, oh no, he's stuck in Asgard.
Why is Khonshu not there? Why is Tigra with him? Like all this stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever do a jailbreak. They're probably gonna have to do a jailbreak for Khonshu at some point, because that's gonna be wild. Seeing like Moon Knight and all of them just like break into Asgard, and Thor be like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah, that would be really cool to see.
Next up for me, for my top pick this week, is Where Monsters Lie. It's a new number 1. The premise alone is so fucking cool. So you obviously know about slasher films, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. Now imagine if they got older. They got tired. Now let's say they wanted to retire. So they go to this gated community where they can relax, or they can go out and kill and then come back and enjoy a nice drink by the docks. So this little gated community is basically a retirement home for slashers. And this one cop basically learns that this one special agent apparently who survived one of the slashers learns about this place and says, "Fuck it, I'm going to kill all of them." And so it's pretty interesting because it's like it's going to be poking fun at like OG slasher films, as you can obviously see from the cover, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and like it's going to be interesting. It seems really fun, and it's a Dark Horse comic, so I mean I'm always down to support Dark Horse.
Yeah,
it's been a minute since I read one of their books, to be honest.
Yeah, no, this looks like something very interesting and new for them. I like that.
Yeah,
sounds a lot of fun.
What about you? What's your top pick?
My top pick of the week is Bloodline, Daughter of Blade, number 1. This is a book that I've been waiting a long time for. I think it got delayed a lot. But very excited to see more Blade, and to see where his daughter came from. I didn't hear anything about him being with anyone or having a daughter, having any children or anything like that. So yeah, I'm very excited for this book. Can't wait to see where they go. Danny Lore is the writer, not a name I recognize, but excited to see what she does.
And the question is this going to be a limited or ongoing? Because as far as I can tell, it seems like it's planned to be an ongoing. Because they don't say anything in the third issue about it being the final issue.
I think I saw that it was a limited.
Okay.
But it's probably like a 5-issue.
Okay.
The April previews came out today, so I should be able to look. Yeah, it's a 5-issue limited.
Okay, so it's a 5-issue limited. But either way, that's still really fun.
Better than a one shot.
Yeah, no, seriously, we got that awesome one shot, but it was not enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, the art looks sick. I love seeing Blade, and I'm excited to see what's happening in Chernobyl. That should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And Brielle Brooks, let's go. Tell your story.
So yeah, those have been our top 5 pulls for February 1st. And as always, like and subscribe, support your local comic shop, and read comics.
Peace.